classes. So in Python classes, it is Python is a object oriented programming language. Also, almost every thing in a program is a object, but whether you define or not, with its properties and methods. With its properties and methods. A class is like a object constructor. It is like a object constructor or a blueprint of creating an object. So how to define a class? So very simple, using the word called class only. Okay, this is a very simple. It is word called class. So I with the example I'm putting here. So use a class is a word. So here it is a class, my class, and some name something. Okay, like what is the properties? Properties. So create a class is my class, and there is a properties. So each class has a property, and we create a object. So based on that it will construct. So how it is done? So we'll see the classes. Again we'll go. Mm, just what I want to do is I will use my BS code. Okay, so we'll see other things. So it will taking time again. So meanwhile I will go through this one only. So select everything, delete. So I'm defining a class. Class and functions are little bit different. Okay, so I'm defining a class here. So my class name is class A. Any name you can put it, cap letters, small letters, but not numbers. And I given a parameter. So like that x is equal to 5 is given, same thing. And I'm executing that class. What will happen? Nothing, because again you have to call this the class. You have to call this one, like call this. So what will happen? Nothing is happening. You have to create an object. A1 is equal to class A. This is A1 is a, what is A1? Variable. It is a class. So this is become an object now. So, I didn't given any statement, right? So that's why it is not printing. So I will give you a print statement. Print x value, or print some statement you can give. Just it's print some value. Okay, a print is there. So because we didn't given any print statement, so it is not printing anything. Okay, now it is printing. So I call the class without any variable or a object. I didn't put it, just I call the class. I didn't say anything to it. So what are the function mentioned in the, what are the statement mentioned in the A? It executed automatically. So I define a class and I call the class. Okay, just I make a call to the class. Okay, creating an object. So what is this creating an object? Now we can create an object named so your class name is my class, and create an object. So create an object name is p1. This is the object name. Print the value for x. Okay, so like this you can do it. So we'll see that one. Why I'm copying this one also with the examples. um, Syntax also, because we have a reference. So earlier just I call the class, that's it, right? I given this one and I call the class. So here I'm removing print statement, otherwise it will print two times, that's the problem. And I'm going to create a object. Object name is a a1. and in object I told, so call the class A, and I'm giving a print statement, print in that one, which one I want to call, like a x dot a1, a1 dot x. So why it is happening like that? X is not defined, it didn't understand that value, a1 dot x. Sorry, so it will happen sometimes. Why it is making me cry like this? It is now displaying 10 value, so it will understand a1 is a class, and under a class x value is there. For example, if I mention two values, x is equal to 10, y is equal to 20, and now I'm calling only x value 10. For example, I put a comma, a1 dot y, then it will call both the values. Okay, only a particular value, particular thing also we can able to take it. Okay, so this is object constructions. You can see class A, and this is object value of print value of x. It is showing like that. So you can see x is a property. What is this? This is a x is a property. Okay, this one is object. This is class. This is statement I'm calling from like this. Okay, so this is a sample class creation. Sample class creation. Okay, so I'm going to just I put everything into the notepad, so then we can see. Next one is Inet function, defining class with the particular function. Either you can specify a function or a Inet function. Inet function is a default function. Inet function is a default function of a thing. So directly you can mention it in a starting only once in the entire program. Okay, or entire one class. Okay, you can mention multiple definitions in the functions in the single class also. Init function example above are the simplest form and are not really useful in real life application. Okay, so to understand meaning of classes we have to understand built-in init class function first. All functions have a all classes have a function called init function, which is always executed when class being initiated. It means when you call the class, first executable is a init class only, like a void main. It's a main class. It is like a main class in a Java. Same thing only here. It's assign value to properties, other operations are necessary be created, and is given a sample kind of stuff. So we'll see what is this init function. For understanding only I given. So this is a very simple init function. So when I so example is created a person. This is a defined a init function. It's a built-in function. Okay, so if I written lot of functions in the same class, but when class is initiated, it will first execute init function only, then only remaining functions based on here. Okay, so here something is given, so we'll try that one, and we'll go to the another different kind of stuff. A class. So use a class name is person, persons or person. Okay, so class don't have brackets. Okay, function has a bracket. Define. So I'm giving inet function underscore underscore init like this. So obviously it's a function. I didn't tell pass means, for example, I want to create a multiple functions or a multiple classes, but I don't want to do anything. So p1 function, and at present code is not developed, then give the pass. Okay, just give the pass. P2 function name is p2, and I haven't done, currently not developing anything. I want to develop a small code like that. Each function I will develop, I will test it, then I will go to another function and test it, like I will go to develop by one. But what happen when I create a architecture or a blueprint, or maybe defining a functions initially, like idea, what happen if I don't put a pass, it will show answer. Okay, it will show error immediately if you don't give a pass. What happen if you don't mention anything under a definition, it shows, it throw an error, so I cannot able to execute it. For example, here I mentioned something, I mentioned, but I didn't mention anything, so even I don't mention anything. Here I mentioned some print statement, here is some if condition, and here I didn't mention anything. This is correct, this is correct. This year I didn't given anything, but still it shows error. So for that one, we should give pass statement. It is also for classes also. For example, as my idea of architecting my program, so I have something like this. For example, B class. Okay, if I don't give anything, it will throw an error. So give a pass statement. So it will check there is a class B. What is there inside? Nothing. Just pass. Go for next one only. Okay, your interpreter or maybe compiling, so it will verify you didn't mention anything, just give the pass. Okay, so initially because normally when you see the textbook or you written a program in the paper, so what happen, we are keep typing programming one by one line we are typing. But in a reality, while you are developing, we go to the first line, then go to 10th line, and go to the fifth line, and go to the 15th line, or maybe you'll go to the 20th line. So we'll go to different lines and develop the code, depends upon the. Okay, so that's how it is the pass state. By default, it is showing a pass when I given a table also, and it is showing none because it's nothing is mentioned here. Okay, so here I want to mention a person name as a parameter, age as a parameter. Okay, so here it is, I'm giving name dot self, it means itself, name. Okay, then age dot self dot age, or age dot self. So again I messed up with that one. Yeah, that is the one I given a wrong. Self means itself, it will take into the function part. So self dot name equal to name. So name parameter we are particularly mentioned here. Self dot age, so when I use a self there, it means itself only. Okay, so I given. Okay, if you want to give print statement kind of stuff, you can give, otherwise you can mention the print statement later. Currently I'm giving a print statement, later I will disable that one. So I'll put a name. If you want, you can give capital mm, name, mm, comma name, comma age, colon, comma age. So I finally I define a function. Now I have to create a object. Object is p1. Okay, person one object. So here I'm calling my, okay, this object for this class. If you have multiple classes, based on that you can take. And I mentioned name and other things. So name is for example ORV, age is 21, like this. Now which one you want to call or which one you print. Okay, so just I create an object, that's it. So then I am already print statement is here, it print automatically. Okay, so you need to specify something like that. Just I'm trying. So what I will do, I'm going to better to delete this part. Delete option is not given. These things you can able to delete. Actually it should be mentioned here. Yeah, here it is mentioned, here it is. Delete. Now this is a PowerShell kind of stuff, but don't worry, you will get a automatically you will get this. Once it is executed, it will go to the Python and Python will execute this thing. First is PowerShell, of course, like this, right? Name and age, simple. Okay, so I didn't call a specific thing, but if I call something like print, I want to call like a p1 dot name. Okay, only name, only name. Okay, or comma p1 dot age, both name and age. Okay, so here what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a hashtag, means I make this statement as a comment so I don't get a two times kind of stuff. Urvi 21, like you can create number of objects, you can create a number of objects here. I took that example because it's very pretty straightforward, less time. Okay, Urvi, and next one is any name, just any name, for example. Okay, two objects I created, but it is displaying one output only. Okay, if for example, if I make this one as a comment and I enable this one, I remove the comment for that one. So what I'm doing is it displaying the statement and second one also, because this is first one for a P1, second for a P2, and you don't want it, you want a specific thing, then also you can do it. Print P1, sorry, P2 dot name, comma P2 dot age. You can reverse it also, you can reverse it also, like a see, like a P2 dot name, P1 dot age, exchange also possible. And also we can change the values later, we can change the values also. For example, P2 dot age equal to maybe 20. Now I want to print that statement, print um, P2 dot name, comma P2 dot age. Now this time it's 20, it is displaying. First one is this one P1, and P2 it is displayed because this is the one. And next one is I change the value for a particular thing and I got this value. Okay, like this we can able to, particularly we can able to specify that we can change the value temporary, it is on that execution time only it is. Okay, so this is your thing. Okay, so here I didn't change anything, only the object creation. So I am putting this object creation in a down. So then please look at properly and change according to that one. So this is a very simple class definitions. Of course, I will remove this one and I will define another class. Class is like my favorite class is marks. Okay, nothing. No need to mention like this. Only default class I'm using underscore init. Again, pass this kind of stuff. Okay, self comma m1 m2 two variables only. Again, same thing I'm doing again with different names. Self dot m1 equal to m1 self dot m2 equal to m2. What happened? I given us this one, but it is not changed. So just for a print statement only, I'm giving m1 equals m1 m2. This one. So finally, class is defined, function is created. Only thing is like a m1, M2. Like each object I'm going to create. For example, student one. Okay, student one. I'm calling this class, and I'm mentioning values, right? So I mentioned 45, 65. Okay, so if you are calling print st, okay, okay, you don't require it print automatically, right? So it will print automatically m1 m2. Okay, so otherwise you can print separately. You want a specific thing st1 like this. If you try like this, what will happen? Throwing error. So sorry. st1 dot, so m1 or you want m2. Okay, m1 comma st1 dot m2. You want to call like this 45, 65. If you want to mention s2 marks. Okay. 34, 45. Anything you can mention. And print statement st1, sorry, st2 dot m1 st, what happened? It got stuck or what? It is got stuck. Not is working. Still not working. So I don't know why it is very slow. Ah, one by one it is working. Hmm? Okay, st2 dot m1, sorry, m2, same thing, but I use in a different way. Okay, so this is the one. For example, you want to get a average marks from st1 and st2, so you can define like this, like print um, s1 dot m1 plus, sorry, st1 dot m1 plus s2 dot m1. Okay, this is a total marks, right? So this is a total marks. What I'm doing is I'm averaging it, so divided by 2. Okay, so both marks average, both students m1 average. Okay, like that, so you can write two things in one. Okay, so like that you can use it and other things. Okay, so we'll see remaining. And you can write a loops inside. You can do write a condition if m1 is greater than m2, then which is highest, like that you can write here also. So if, so first of all we'll go to any other things are there. So init function, this is object method. Okay, objects can also contain methods. Method in objects or functions belongs to an object, that is well. Okay, so it is here, it is they define a function here, so they define a function in the another function. See, this is a function and they define another function here, another function here, and he called the function directly, so like that. So the self parameter is reference to current instance of class and is used to access variables that belongs to class. Sub self also you can use different names. Sub self also you can use different names just for to tell these parameters are belongs to this class. That's it. ABCD dot name. So we'll see those things once again. Um, so many things are written. I want to remove all these things. Only one is better. I use this kind of stuff. Okay, self m1 m2 and print. So I'm removing this print statement also and give some space. So I want to define something different. Define the names when you are doing some names we all don't get it. mm, I put a host. I put a my function only, so that is a better one. Okay, I'm not doing anything, just print. Okay, m1 equal to um, comma m1. Okay, but it is not understanding which one is m1, so either you can use st1 dot m1. We'll try. Nothing is working here. So where is this? This is function, this problem, self problem, not st1. So you have to give something here, self, self. Why it is not working? Should display output. I didn't call the function properly. I didn't call the function. Okay. So p sorry st1 dot my function. Just I didn't call the function. So m1 is 45 like that. Okay. So I call the function now. Okay. For example, if I create another object, st2 marks, I'm giving different values like a 65, 76. st2 dot my function. Okay. So m1 45 for st1, m2 65 for st2. Same thing you can type like this, like m1 m2 equal to comma m2. So if you mention like this, what happen? So not m2, self dot m2. So I call two functions. Okay, it's a very simple one. So writing two functions and I calling these values into the separate function, and I call the function directly. So anyway, st marks it understand, and st1 is a object linked to class marks. And when you call this function, and obviously it understands this function mentioned in the particular class. That's it. Mhm. Yeah, here we also instead of self, if I use a different thing. So what happened? I want to use ABC. So I have to change instead of that one ABC only. Self is a self class. It is automatic class, automatic one. So automatically it telling it self only. So I can use ABC. Here I use XYZ. Then obviously this self will change XYZ. But when you are initiating, it is M1, M2 parameters automatically taken. I change the things instead of self, whether it is working or not, same output I will get it, no errors, nothing. So I given instead of self, I given ABC or maybe XYZ or maybe anything you can give it. So we can get the parameters. This is a simple defining things. Okay, instead of self. Okay, instead of self, here they use a different thing. Modification of object we seen. Deletion of object is del. You can delete a particular object also. Pass already I told in there, so that is a passing the statement. Okay, so this is about your classes. Again, we'll go to the classes. Class is also is defining to construct a object. So we use a class. Class is more like a blueprint. We have to once define the class, and then we have to create an object and do it. So for example, you can see um, this is how to create a class, and this is we are creating a object. This is for a printing a value of x in the using your object. That is Inet functions are usually in initial functions type, means when you call the class first, it is like a main method type. It will execute this one, and then execute the next ones. Okay, here it is p1 is an object, person is a class, these are a parameters or a values. Okay, so name John, age is 36. So here it is object dot name. So automatically, if you create multiple like a p1 p2 like that, you create a things multiple way. Okay, so you if you can call individually, and also here I created, see, I can call with the function like this. Well, so many things are there, so many things we can able to create with a different functionality purpose. Okay, next I want to print average marks, comma, x y z dot m1 plus x y xyz dot m2. So it is showing any outcome or not, that's the point. Average marks, average marks. So this is my marks and this is the average marks. So you can try like this also. I need a bigger window so then I can able to show you. Now it is showing like this. Better I nothing that is just nothing. Okay, so this is about your classes currently, and we can develop another classes part also. Like average calculations, calling functions, inheritance, polymorphism, those kind of stuff is there. This is the basic how to define a class, how to define a function in the class, and how to call the functions in the class, and how to create objects. Okay, st1 st2 objects, very simple.